Hi everyone, my name is Marjorie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm participating in this wonderful challenge that's hosted by LaParsha from Creating It Myself, and it's the Reason for the Season challenge. So for my first DIY, I am going to actually be doing some Chalkboard products, and what I've got here is the bright white paste, and then I got some of these little like chalkboard rounds, and I've already cut out my 4 little transfers, and I already had put them on the cloth so I can fuzz my transfers to make it a little bit easier. And now I'm just going to place them all, one on each round, and I'm going to use the paste to create these little ornaments. Now I will say a little goes a long way with the paste. You don't really have to use a lot, and so this little jar, I tell you, well, it's the first time I've used it, but it's really gonna last you a long time. And it's also good to not put too much of the paste on there. You don't want to cake too much of it on your transfer because it takes really well. And this white is so beautiful on this black background. I just really love the outcome of this. Now I do want to say, make sure you drop into the description box below and you can find the link to the playlist and also to LaParsha's channel, so you can check her out as well as all the other creators in the playlist. So on one of these, I actually got a little outside of the transfer, but don't you worry, if you happen to do that, then you can actually just wipe it off really easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these transfers off pretty slow, and just look at how bright and beautiful that is. It just stands out so beautifully. I just love the outcomes of these. I am so glad that I had decided to purchase some Chalkboard products. Now I do take a white metallic marker from the Dollar Tree, and on 3 of them I just do the stitches on the outside of the ornament just to give it a little more look to it. So then I take this buffalo check ribbon. I want to say it's like 1 inch. It was from Hobby Lobby in the Christmas, I believe. And I just cut a strip off and folded it in half and glued it together to make a thinner strip. And then here you see as I'm gluing them together so I can actually make the hanger to the ornaments. Now I leave it at this, but if you would like, you could add a little bow, a little greenery, berries, bells, whatever you would like to help embellish these ornaments. But I just love the look and the simplicity of the way these turned out. So on to number 2. So what I have here is one of these kind of like shadow boxes from the Dollar Tree, and I had already painted it white. And what I'm doing is I'm taking this scrapbook paper, and I'm going to cut out 4 pieces to fit on the inside of each of the squares, and then I'm just going to Mod Podge them in there. Now you will see me on one of these where I kind of get it stuck and I just end up struggling with it. So I had to kind of fit the papers in there into each of the sections to see where how much I needed to trim off. And this is what kind of happened. This is not the one that gets stuck, but I was actually able to get this one up, and it was a little difficult, and I don't know why I didn't learn from this first one, but I didn't. And so here I'm trimming off that first little section. Now what I should have done is measured it up against the larger piece to kind of measure off what I need to cut off. This is the one that gave me grief and got stuck. Y'all, I tried and tried and tried, and I was so determined to get it loose, but I couldn't get it out. I couldn't pull up one of the corners or any of the sides to grab a hold of it. And then I couldn't leave it in there because it was, there was a bubble in the paper. So I was so frustrated, but what I actually do later is I get some Mod Podge, and so I was trying to smooth it out, but I ended up getting it so saturated with the Mod Podge that I was able to pull it up, and it was so easy to pull up after that. But I just went ahead and cut another piece and trimmed it down to fit. But as you see, what I'm doing is I take those 4 pieces of cardstock or scrapbook paper, and I'm just Mod Podging them in each of the squares. And I don't know if you can tell what it says, but it basically just has glory printed all over the papers, and it's so pretty and simple. So I'm just taking this little tool from the Chalkboard, and it actually came in real handy because I used it to get all the bubbles out and smooth out the Mod Podge underneath the scrapbooking paper to make it look all nice. And I did not go over the top of it with extra Mod Podge. I just left it as it was. So see, here's how I fixed my mistake. So now I've got these 4 little ornaments from Walmart. It was like $1.98 for the 4, and it's really only 2 designs, but it's of the nativity scene, and I thought it was beautiful. And so all I do is I take and hot glue one each of the ornaments into each of the squares, and I just kind of alternate where you see I don't have 2 of the same ones sitting next to each other is what I guess I'm trying to say. So once I had that, I thought I needed something else, so I took some more of that ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I decided to make a bow. Just a real easy, simple bow here. And I was originally gonna just do the bow, but then as I started looking at it, it was a little plain. I thought it needed something else. So you'll see here in a minute, I'll get some greenery. It's like frosted greenery with some berries, and I just take that and I attach it to the top of the sign, and then I will add my bow in right into the middle of it. Now you could do a little more. Well, I'd kind of thought afterwards that in each of the little scenes, you know, I thought if the bottom, the little ledge on each one of those 4 sections, I hope you guys know what I'm talking about, but if they're a little too plain to you, I thought you could maybe put a little faux snow in there, or even add a little raffia, kind of like the hay from the manger, or you could add presents as the gifts to Jesus. You could just do little different things to kind of you know, spruce it up if you wanted it to have a little bit more decor. You could actually, I thought of taking the little small wood cubes that you get at Dollar Tree and paint those and make them as little gifts. I thought about doing that, but again, this I really was trying to go for the simple. I guess I didn't want it to be too flashy. I didn't want too much going on because I really wanted the emphasis on these projects to be about Jesus and his birth. So, I mean, that's really the reason we all should be celebrating Christmas, and that's what it's about. It's not about, you know, everybody getting gifts and it being as commercialized as it is today. And I'm just so glad to be participating in this because to me that's what Christmas is about. So for my third DIY, I found these rounds at a garage sale, and they were like 4 rounds for $1. So I take 6 of them, and I'm just going to be making a hanging decor. So I'm going to paint the top and the sides of all 6 of them with this beautiful sage green. And I do end up giving the top part like 2 coats, which, you know, after I finished the product, I realized I probably didn't need to give it 2 coats. Just because I do end up using some scrapbook paper to help cover it. So as you see here, I'm just taking a painter's tape roll and making some circles into this scrapbook piece of paper that I'll cut out, and I'm only cutting out 5 of them, and then I will Mod Podge to the top of 5 of the circles. So this is actually a black and white plaid scrapbook paper, and in case you didn't know, my Christmas colors this year is black, white, and this beautiful sage green. So what I'll do here is I'm going to Mod Podge, like I said, 5 of those onto the top of the circles. And then what I'll do is I'll take some jute cord that I got from Walmart, and I end up just taking a big piece of it and burning the edges of it first to get all the little fuzzies off. And then I'll hot glue it around the right on the edge of the paper to kind of help cover up some of that where the paper ends, just to give it a little bit more character. And I'm just going to show you me doing another one. I'm not actually going to make you sit through me doing all of them. And then with my little blue scraper there, all I do is just try to smooth out the edges, get any excess glue out from under the paper. And I did not put a top layer of Mod Podge on this either. Most definitely you can if you want to, but it's gonna stay in the house, and I didn't really think that it was gonna need it on there. So once I actually have all of my, oh my goodness, my paper on my round discs, then I take these letters from the Dollar Tree and I just spell out the word Jesus. Sorry that this looks a little backwards, but it's just the way that my camera is. I tried to fix it, but I couldn't figure out how to fix it, so sorry that you have to look at it looking all crazy. So once I spell that out, then I just take a pencil on this last one and I wrote the words "is the reason," and then I take my little black marker here and I trace out the lettering with my black marker, and then I'll go over and I'll make those same little stitch marks on here to give it a little more look. And then what I don't show, but you'll see in the final reveal, is I did have some stickers that I had got from Hobby Lobby a couple years ago, and they had a couple of crosses on them. So I end up adding the 2 crosses onto this this little round here to give it a little more decorations. Now definitely I don't have a Cricut, so I just hand lettered this, and of course I'm sure you've all seen many YouTube videos that kind of tells you all different kind of ways that you can add text to your decor, and definitely stickers would be a great way to do it as well. I just didn't have any stickers that I liked that I wanted to use, so I just went ahead and hand lettered in the words. So now I'm going to kind of position everything, get it to where I want it to be, and again with the same buffalo check ribbon from Hobby Lobby, I am going to just hot glue the ribbon to the back, and then I have a little sponge, just a sponge that I used for the Mod Podge, and I use it as a spacer between each of the rounds. That way I can have it evenly spaced, and then I just place all 6 rounds on the ribbon. I do end up going back and making a little hanger, just like the ones I did on the small ornament. And again, if you want something more elaborate and lavish, you're more than welcome to do that if you choose to do something like this. But I just left it pretty simple. Right there I was showing you there was a little place that you could hang it already, and I thought that's what I was originally going to do, but nope. So now to number 4. So I'm going to tell you guys, I left this first part in there as a big mistake, but I wanted to show you that I make mistakes, plenty of them. So I have 2 of the lucky signs from Dollar Tree. And what I'm doing is I've got a bunch of these little handles that I cut off over the past year from different paint stick decor, and I saved the ends of them just so I can use for this purpose. But my mistake here was I'm gluing the stir sticks to the side that I was going to paint, and I'm just working away and did not realize until I had everything glued on there. And you guys, this is Gorilla Hot Glue, and if you haven't used it before, you need to get you some, because this works miracles. I could not get these off, and I didn't have a scraper on hand, so this was the time when I realized, well, oh crap, I hot glued them to the wrong end. So luckily I had some more, and I went ahead and redid the same steps to the correct side of the signs, and then I painted the what is now the front side of the signs. I painted that white with my white chalk paint, and then I've got some of this Waverly's chalk paint in mineral, and I'm going ahead and distressing it over the wet white paint. So I let the white paint dry a little, and probably about halfway, and then I started to dry brush over with the mineral color. Now, to me, that works. That's the best method of distressing for me. And then on the areas where it gets a little too heavy, I'll go back in, and like I'm about to do here, I'm just pouring a little of the white paint out, but I use the same brush that I used with the mineral chalk paint, and I just go back over the dark areas to kind of lighten them up a bit, and it works really good. So I got this from Walmart, and it came in that package. It was $2.98, and it's a wall decor, and what I loved about it is that it actually had the T in Christmas as a cross, and you know, that is definitely the meaning of Christmas. I will say one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to Christmas is when people start abbreviating it and removing Christ out of Christmas and replace it with an X. Because, you know, to me, you're basically taking Christ out of what the season is really about, and it's about Him. And so when I saw this, I really thought it was beautiful. Not just that it was the colors of my decor, but just really the religious aspect of it. So I was definitely glad to find this. The stickers stick really well, and I didn't put any Mod Podge over this either. Now you could if you wanted to, but to me it sticks on there really well. Again, I'm keeping this inside. I don't see any reason why I would need to put the Mod Podge on it. So once I've got the words down in the little greenery, there are a bunch of these snowflakes of different sizes. Now they're a little light and a little hard to see on camera, but they are a little bit more visible. To me, they're pretty close in color as the mineral chalk paint that I added on here. Maybe just a tad bit lighter, but to me that's kind of similar colors. Now I just go about and take all of these stickers, and I use every last one, putting them all over this sign, and I absolutely love the outcome of it. Okay, so now that I have everything added onto my sign, I'm going to take that same buffalo check that I've been using in these DIYs and add a little trim to both sides of, just on the ends of the sign, and just to give it a little more look. And here is the final reveal. I did actually put a hanger on the back of the Merry Christmas sign. That way I could hang it from the wall. And I just absolutely love how everything turned out. It's all so beautiful, and I see myself using these for a long time. But again, I want to thank you guys for stopping by and watching the video. Please remember to go check out the playlist. And if you like my video, then please go ahead and like my video, comment below, and subscribe if you already haven't. Thank you guys, and have a blessed day.